Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. How do you know which of these guys are going to end up being program changing talents and how many of these guys are just going to end up being pieces? Like, is there anyone here that you can see being added to a team, even someone that's committed to a program already, being added to a team and changing what the ceiling of that team could end up being, changing how good they could end up being? Are there any all conference guys available at the high major level right now?
I mean, yes, of course there will be. It's just you don't know who they're going to be. I mean, like it's really hard. But what I'll say is this: like when you stack up the production and the numbers of the top 50 transfers compared to the top 50 freshmen, it's like not even close. I mean,
Mhm.
most of when we rank the top 50 transfers at the end of the year, top 100, most of them are going to be productive players. Are they going to be all league guys? Well, again, nobody expected Cam Spencer to be as valuable as any transfer in the country when he came over from Rutgers to UConn. But again, he impacted winning. He had all the intangibles. So I think, again, like sometimes it's hard to judge, but I do feel like most of the guys that we thought, look at it like Hunter Dickinson. He was really good, right? Dalton Connect, we didn't know. We didn't know. That was one that we were shocked. LJ Cryer, pretty good, right? When he came over from Baylor to Houston. Caleb Love, again, I was certainly worried about it, but he was really good. Max Hazemus, pretty darn good. So I think, again, most of these guys are going to be impact. It's finding, is there another Dalton Connect in there, right? Is there another guy like that all of a sudden is going to transfer up and have some level, like they may not have that level of success, but like a huge impact on a program and be a go-to guy at the high major level, because most of them, you kind of cut their numbers in half, Rob, when they go, and I did a study on this a few years ago, when they go from the low to mid-major level to the high major level, generally you're cutting their scoring numbers and the rebounding numbers and their assist numbers in half. With Dalton Connect, like they were as good, if not better.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is that if you look at someone like Connect or you look at someone like Domask, they have high major size when they're transferring up. And to me, especially when we're talking about backcourt guys and we're talking about transferring up, that's kind of what I would look at. It's part of why I look at someone like a Tucker DeVries, and I don't think he's going to average what he averaged 22 last year at Drake. I don't think we're talking about a guy that's going to average 20 in the Big 12, but I think he could average 14 points a game for West
I
Virginia
think it
next year.
averaged
And if you're
17
yeah,
again.
yeah, if you're that kind of a player, then that's something where I think it adjusts. Whereas if you look at someone like a great Osibor, right? I'll be very curious to see what he ends up being at the next level because he is more of like what is he 6'8", 250. He's more of like he doesn't really have the same level of athleticism that you're going to find for some of these high major programs. And he's going to end up being a top 5 guy in every single transfer list that you find. And he's going to be in demand with all of the biggest programs that you're going to see looking for a big guy in the transfer portal. And his adjustment to that level is going to be one that I'm going to be monitoring closely. I think he'll be fine, but I don't know if it's necessarily a guarantee. So I think that the guy, we're both going to agree on this one, right? Janelle Davis, Nellie Davis, FAU's finest,
Yeah.
is in the portal. Is I believe
Yep.
on a visit this weekend to Michigan to go see his former head coach Dusty May. As he is transferring up, he is a guy at 6'4" in one of those combo guard roles that I think can step right in and be able to impact the game at the highest level immediately.
Oh, 1,000%. If there's one guy in the portal that you can give me right now on any team, pretty much, it's Nelly Davis, because he can go get his, right? He's got good size, good length. You can give him the ball and he can just go get a bucket. He rebounds extremely well for his position. He can move the ball. Like he carried that team last year. Elijah Martin, as much as I love him, he struggled with consistency. Vlad Golden struggled with consistency. Nelly was a guy that was kind of there, especially when the honestly when the lights shine brightest. Nelly was there, like that Arizona game, right? I mean, he delivered. He delivered most games. So to me, he's the dude in this portal. Now the big question, Rob, is my guess is he's going to go through the draft process and he'll see. Like, can he get a two-way? Could he be drafted in the 40s, 30s? Like, I still say there's a chance in this draft that he goes in the 30s or 40s, gets a guaranteed contract, and says goodbye to college basketball. On the flip side, could he be the first $1 million man? And by $1 million man, I mean like a guy that's been guaranteed $1 million by the collective. Like, there are guys who made more than $1 million this year, Hunter Dickinson being one of them. But he was kind of guaranteed, okay, let's say 500 by the collective. And then when you get to Kansas, you know we're going to tell you you're going to make another 500 from other deals with real companies. With Nelly Davis and some of these guys, they're trying to get $1 million guaranteed right off the bat.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting thing. Let's talk about the other guys that are available, because the next three guys on our list are big guys. We have next four guys actually. We have Great Osobor, you have Cliff Amori, you have Jonas Adu, and you have Robbie Avila. Where do you stand on all of those guys, and how do you see that the transition specifically for Robbie and Great moving up to the high major level, because they're going to be recruited at the highest levels when it comes to transfers?
Yeah, I mean, I still think there's a good chance Robbie follows Josh Hurts to St. Louis. They have really good NIL, so it wouldn't shock me at all. I know and I think with Robbie, he understands, like, all right, I've been successful in this system with this coach. Why would I change that? I get a chance now to play at a higher level, make more money. But this guy has done right by me. But he'll have other options, and he has other options. Great Osobor, like you said, be a little careful where you go. Does he follow his coach, Danny Sprinkle, to Washington? I don't know if they're going to have the NIL to be able to compete with some of these other programs, because I think, again, Osobor is going to be one of those guys that, wants $1 million. I don't think he'll get it, but I think he'd want something in that $750, to $1 million range. And then, Cliff can play anywhere. Cliff can play anywhere. He's done it at Rutgers for a long period of time. He does what he does well, right? He protects the rim, big, strong, athletic, gotten better offensively. But I'm not worried about him anywhere.
Yeah, he is what he is. If you're recruiting him, you're recruiting him to play a very specific role, and is a very specific role that is very different from what you're recruiting someone like a Robbie Avila for. I'm curious about some of these guards, because I think one of the things you run into with like a Cannon Carlisle and a Pop Isaacs and a Rylan Griffin, even I throw Aiden Mahaney in there as well, a Tyrese Hunter, is that you have good players, but I would not classify these guys as season changing recruits. To me, you're recruiting these guys to be like the second option on a team. I think part of the reason why you see someone like a Pop Isaacs in the portal is because they wanted star money from their last program, and they are not the kind of talent to be. If those guys are your best player, then I think you're running in a situation where you're kind of running uphill at the high major level.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Pop was the best player for a team that went to the tournament and overachieved last year. So, and he's got his work ethic's ridiculous, and he's trying to get healthy now after played hurt most of last year. So, Carlisle's a great shooter. Does he go to a place like Indiana that needs a shooter desperately? He fits in well there. Rylan Griffin, a good player. Stojakovic, I love Stojakovic. I love him. I loved him coming out of high school. Didn't shoot it great this year, but again, like you said, how many of these guys are program changers? I don't know, but they're really good pieces, and they're all highly sought after because they bring something. They bring one really good skill to the table, all of them.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.